All right, so I'm back. It's been a long time since we've all been together. It's been a long time since I made a video. I didn't make a video last week for episode 301, so this first video that I'm making tonight is for 301, and then after I'm done with this one, I will then make one for 302. All right, so episode one. Episode one, we join Jamie and Claire. After he sent her back through the stones towards the end of season two, and so um, the episode just kind of runs through. It was called the battle joined, and so we see Jamie run back to the battle at Culloden, and I think they did some really good stuff with the way they filmed this episode. Um, I love seeing the battle scenes. I loved how they put everything together. I know that there was some stuff done um, with the battle scenes. I saw at the end of the episode, since we watch it on the Stars app, we get to see the little inside the episode thing at the end of it. And Matt Roberts and Tony Raffia and Ron Moore were doing a little interview. And Matt Roberts said that at one point they had like 189 extras on the set, plus their regular actors during the actual battle scenes themselves. So there was, close to 200 people taking part at some point during some of those days. So that's a lot of people to put together. I thought they did really good with that. I liked seeing Jamie tell Prince Charles to give the order to charge, and he keeps trying to tell him to give the order to charge. Through some of the research and stuff that I've done, that was one of the failings from Prince Charles, was because he didn't give the order to charge. Granted, it might not have helped a whole lot, but had he given the order to charge much earlier when the fighting started, it wouldn't have given the English as much time to set up their lines and set up all the artillery and everything else. Like, it's possible, some of the stuff I read and some of the things that have come out in the past year or two, is that it was possible that the Jacobites could have won that battle. There were just a lot of bad decisions made. So anyway, aside from that, it was really nice seeing a definite decision on whether or not Jamie killed Blackjack. In the books, we don't see that, because in the books, we don't know about it until much later on, when Jamie is in one of the Indian camps, and they're all sitting around the fire and they're drinking alcohol and smoking tobacco, and everybody's telling war stories, and Jamie's name is Bear Killer. I know I'm some spoilers, but really the books have been out for a long time, folks. I think you really need to read the books because it's going to add so much more to the TV shows themselves. And so Jamie's counting up people on his hands, and he gets to like 15 or 16, and these are just people he can think of. He's killed more than that, especially in battle. And his thumb, I believe it's his thumb, is wavering as whether or not it's the 15th person was Blackjack. And so it was nice to see that he actually did kill him. That part where Blackjack reaches out and touches his shoulder and falls into him, I don't think there wasn't anything sexual or anything of that nature at all. It was literally Blackjack just finally gave up. He was dying, and that's it. And he just fell against Jamie, and because Jamie was so weak, he just fell back, and Blackjack ended up saving his life. Because he didn't, or he wasn't found. They didn't come over and kill him like they were killing other people on the battlefield. I really liked Claire walking through the battlefield as part of Jamie's dream, and how sweet that was. I actually cried at that scene. It was so tender and sweet and moving. I thought that was really, really well done. And then when everybody's in the little house, the little farmhouse there at Culloden, and Rupert and all the other guys, and that line where Rupert says, "I mean to keep a quick pace, keep up," when they take him out to shoot him. I thought that was really funny. a little bit of brevity to break up how heavy the episode was. With it being called The Battle Joined, I think Claire also was doing her own battle. She had to come back. She had to move with Frank. She didn't have to, but she did choose to move with Frank to Boston to start over. She did what Frank said and didn't want to talk about the past, didn't want to talk about those things. But we see in the episode how Claire's like, you want to talk about how things were so good before, but I can't talk about the past. And I get that. For her, talk about the past is talk about the past with Jamie and that kind of stuff. And if I'm Frank, I'm like, I don't really want to hear you talk about how much you loved this guy and how great the sex was or how great some of this other stuff was. I just wouldn't want to hear it. So trying to make sure this thing isn't cutting my head off. So other than that, I thought it was really well done. I thought Kat did a really good job of conveying the how hard it would have been for Claire to hold back her emotions when she was talking at the little dinner thing that they did at Harvard for the history department, and that professor was kind of berating her, or at least talking down to her, and that did happen back then. As much as you don't like it, it did happen. I think it was a little over the top. My mom and grandmother and great grandmother all said it was almost never done like that, and they hung around some of those same kind of academia circles, but it was definitely done. And then the way the doctor talked to her during the delivery, the little "don't worry your pretty little head" thing, I think that was more of just kind of a joke, because that's how they said it was always. That's how my the older women in my family said it was done. It was almost never done in like a really demeaning kind of a way, just more of a, don't worry your pretty little head about it, we've got it, that kind of thing. But it did come off wrong. And they did a good job of showing that, yeah, she was going to be knocked out for this birth. And I read a lot of stuff online on the different Facebook groups and all that I'm in, and several women who gave birth at that time and several women who were born at that time said either them or their mothers were all knocked out, and that was just the thing to do. Not until in the 60s when everybody realized, we really shouldn't be put to sleep when we're giving birth to our kids because it really messes things up. So other than that, I really like the episode. There's not a whole lot I can add to it, just because it's all been said. And I've talked about it on other Facebook pages and different groups, and other people said the same kind of stuff, so I'm not really adding a whole lot to it. But I really thought that Sam stepped up as an actor in this, and I thought he did exceptionally well, and I was pleased to see him step up. And I think Kat did really well with conveying the pain and emotions and the struggles of being, I guess at this time she would be, 27 or 28, something like that, in post-war America, and academia and all that, just trying to deal with all this stuff. So I thought it was a really well done episode. I'm really happy for it, for seeing it. It may have been a little overhyped, and maybe everybody feels a little let down. But my next video for episode 302, I'll go into how that episode has just really set the bar way, way high. All right. Thank you very much. Talk to y'all later.